So, in a world full of noises where content creation, podcasts, information, chat GPT, Google, and I don't know whatever, there's an overload of information. Deep Conversation with Deepa invites you to pause, to listen, to feel a deeper sharing where the words are not just heard and said, but they are integrated at a deeper level. And today, I feel absolutely delighted, privileged, honored, excited, literally bubbling like a child to welcome my very, very dear friend, Duccio Locati in Dubai. So he's physically here in Dubai. So Duccio is the director of PSYCH-K Central International. That's a label, but the journey is way bigger, and the journey is the journey of evolution. He's the anchor for PSYCH-K, and we are here just to share our deepest core and just sharing it with you. So, very welcome, Duccio. How does it feel to come to the desert?
Thank you, Deepa, first of all, for inviting me to the magic of the desert. I think, like you said into the introduction, desert is deeply connected also with silence, and we need so much more silence in our life because silence allows us to stay more with us, even if it seems scary, because when we stay with ourselves, we start to see things that we might not like, and we start to maybe freak out and say, no, let's have some noise that distracts me so I don't access to my true self.
Yes.
And I think that the beauty of the desert, the essence of the desert is that in some way it forces you to stay with you. And this is the first step to remember who you are.
That's so beautiful, and that's so rightly said. And on that note, something which really intrigues me about the desert is that the desert is always shifting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so when I moved to Dubai, I had a lot of resistance because I thought that spirituality is all about the mountains and the ocean and the rivers. But the desert is so mysterious and deep, and desert is so shifting. And I so resonated with it that our beliefs can also be shifting. we both know that Psyche is all about reprogramming and rewiring the beliefs, and you have given the world one of the most beautiful work, Psyche, Health and Well-being, and it is all about mind, body, and spirit connection. And I really want to ask you, how do you resonate, and how would you explain, because I want to know it for myself, what is the connection between mind, body, and the spirit?
How many days do we have for this?
Lifetime. That is exactly why I said that I want to know it for myself, because it's a never-ending evolution.
Right. So, getting back to the desert that you said beautifully, it's changing every second. A dune is never the same dune after a few seconds. Our life is in some way the same. And that's sometimes scary, because we, at the subconscious level, we love certainties. We love certainties in relationships. We love certainties in our economic life. We want certainties in our job. We want certainties in friendship, in health. And at the subconscious level, we would like everything to stay exactly as it is for the things that we like.
Yes.
For sure, we would love the things that we don't like to change, right? But life is in constant change. And the beauty is to be able to serve with life, okay? And to adapt to the changes, like the dunes, okay?
Yes.
And health is very related to that, because we tend to think about health as health, okay? We categorize, health is about the body, the biology, the physiology, the pathology, something So we have a good health when our body works perfectly. We do not have a perfect health when our body does not function perfectly. Okay, and this is one way to see health. There is no right or wrong. Okay, what we offer with PSYCH-K is just a different point of view, because PSYCH-K is not a substitute of official health. It's a beautiful complement to it.
Yes.
Thanks God, there are amazing doctors worldwide who are there to serve their purpose. They believe in what they do amazing surgeries. And the modern medicine is also, without even realizing it, also getting more and more away from the person and is more and more obsessed about the symptom.
Yes.
Okay? So the focus is nearly 100% on the symptom and nearly 0% on the person.
Yes.
In PSYCH-K, it's the complete opposite. Okay, we focus on what in the person's life. It could be their job, their relationship with money, their relationship with job, the way they perceive themselves, the traumatic events that happened in our life. All of these events, all of this perception, all of these things that happen in their life affect their health. Okay?
Absolutely.
Because health, from another point of view, that's not the opposite from a more objective point of view, from a more symptomatic-based medicine. Health is more holistic, is more, can we see a condition that we usually call illness, not as something wrong in our body, but as the perfect biological adaptation to what's happening in my life.
True.
So, for example, if I am in a very stressful job and professional situation,
True.
and I feel threatened and attacked, and I need to be more reactive, I need to have a system that's more reactive, that's more stressed.
Yes.
I need my heart to function more. I need all my hormones and all my system that manages my stress to be more active to face the stressful environment.
True.
Right? So we can see this as, oh my God, my heart is hyper functioning, without considering why it's hyper functioning. That's helping you to manage the stressful situation in your job. Or why your heart is hyper functioning now. Oh, to serve you, to help to face the stressful situation that you are managing in your job.
Yes.
So in this way, with PSYCH-K, we take care of the person's life. So how do you want to manage your job situation? What's the conflicts that's behind that? How do you want to see and perceive the people who create stress in your job environment? And even more important, how do you want to perceive yourself in this job situation?
Absolutely.
As powerless or as powerful?
Yes.
As a leader or as a follower? As a decision maker or as someone like more a yes man because you fear losing your job? And this depends on so many things, our education, our family. But this is the approach that we have with PSYCH-K. It's more on the person's life. How much maybe a crisis in your intimate relationship in your family is affecting your health.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So as how we always say that it is not about the health of the one tree, it is about the health of the forest.
Of the forest.
So we look at it from a very different perspective, and it's all about perception.
It's all
Stress is a perception, and perception can be transformed with PSYCH-K.
Exactly.
Something very beautifully you just said, and I actually had a health and well-being session yesterday with the partner, and it is so mystical that you just said this word today, and yesterday I had that session, and it is about unknown and uncertain. Yeah. So so there is this beautiful, amazing divine lady who came for the health and well-being session, and where I always feel that it's Psyche is what a beautiful privilege and honor to serve. And as you said, that we do not intervene into what the wonderful job the medical science is doing. So it is not that you have to stop taking your medicine and you don't have to go for the surgery, but you could be integrating on a different level
100%.
and how the medicines are supporting your recovery and how a surgery is resonating with your system. This all can be speeded up and expedited with Psyche, right?
Absolutely.
This is how we serve. So she was talking about that she had first a limp on because she had breast cancer on the right side of her body, and then she got absolutely all right. And then after a few years, she had another lump or a lymph node. Yeah, so I think that's the correct word. And then the third time, and she did a lot of work with herself, but she said, I always knew that something is there which I do not know, but it's not only about what is coming up on the body, it is something else. And she used the word, that was her first word, that I'm so fearful of uncertainties, that I want to know everything in my life. And even as a child, I was always so afraid of unknown, uncertain. And here I have this unknown and uncertain thing, which is in a form of a disease, what we call it, a condition, keeps on coming. And when we had a little deeper conversation, she could resonate with the limiting belief so immediately that it is her belief about unknown and uncertain, that she is not good with unknown and uncertain, is probably coming in her own way. And as you just said that, health is so connected with our ability to embrace unknown and uncertain.
Absolutely. And it's such a big deal for so many people.
Yeah, and it is such a big deal for so many people. And coming back to the desert, and since we are in the beautiful desert, I learned how to embrace unknown and uncertain from the desert, and I feel privileged to offer Psyche here in this part of the world, in the Middle East and in the Gulf. And we invite you for Psyche Health and Well-Being every year, and we feel privileged that there are so many people who are being able to understand on a deeper level the mind, body, and the spirit connection and the perspective. And how the perception and how one thing can be perceived from different levels of reality.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's amazing. I always feel very intrigued to something for which I had a personal experience. What we call is now reactive responses in health and well-being. But what we in a layman's language call that I'm allergic to this and I have a reaction to this, and I have my own story, which I will share it with all beautiful divine people. But I would like to know from you, what are these reactive responses? We call allergies, reactions, like, the one I had, and I worked with it in the health and well-being. And since then, it's just so amazing. And I would share it later, but first from you.
Yes, so the reactive response is the name that we give in Psyche to what's commonly called allergy or intolerance. And again, it's a beautiful complement to what medicine does for this kind of condition. And again, the Psyche perspective is really different. It's not about let's take an antihistaminic, let's take a pill to shut down the symptoms of the allergy, but let's deep dive, let's understand more if there was something in your life that triggered the activation of this reactive response. That could be to animals, to pollens, to food, to substances, to drugs, to medicines. It could be to anything. I have personally worked with quite a few, including one with cats that I love so much.
Yeah.
And the beauty is to see how our beautiful subconscious mind creates this stressful association that are very annoying because we do not like to have a reactive response. No one loves to have an allergy or an intolerance.
Yes.
But when we are able to go deeper and to understand that there was an event or a person that triggered that specific reactive response, and we are even more able to transform the perception of the event or to do something with the person that triggered that reactive response, that's pure magic. For example, very long story short, I really love every animal and I'm very passionate about cats. Okay?
Yes, we all know.
When I was young, I had a beautiful white cat. His name was Leo. He lived in our apartment. We had a big apartment, but clearly Leo was not happy because he couldn't go outside. One day, when I came back home from school, I didn't see Leo at home, and I asked my mom, okay, where is Leo? And my mom said, oh, Leo didn't feel very good at home, so we decided to give it to grandma because she lives in the country. So I was shocked by this event because my mom and my dad didn't tell me. So the conflict of not seeing Leo anymore, and also I was very angry at my mom and my dad. And I didn't realize, but my allergy to cats started exactly in that moment. So before, I never had
the allergy because you loved
exactly.
animals.
So a reactive response to cat. After this event, that was the one that my subconscious mind connected the stress of not seeing Leo, my cat, at home anymore, and also the anger that I had towards my mother and my father. So once I discovered that, with PSYCH-K, first of all, I did a process to forgive my mom and my dad, to forgiving Leo to grandma. And also, I started laughing because while I was in this process, I was saying, I have nothing to forgive them. They did the best because it was for Leo. He was so much better in the country. And also, I did another process with PSYCH-K to transform the perception of the stressful and traumatic event exactly when I opened the door and I didn't see Leo. That was for me, it was shocking. Exactly. Since that moment, I never had the reactive response again, and I can enjoy cats. Right? And this is about taking care of life. And you said, tell me more something about body, mind, and spirit. The spirit part, that's some people do not resonate with spirit, it could be identified like inner wisdom, intuition, whatever.
Divine,
God,
or that big ball of light.
Exactly.
Whatever.
It's a very, very important part of PSYCH-K because it's through that part that we are able to identify really the most important information for our life and therefore for our health and well-being. So the super conscious mind, that's this divine part of us, and that's the word that we use in PSYCH-K to identify our inner wisdom, super conscious, helps us to identify what we need to identify to have an amazing life. And
absolutely,
more than ever, a peaceful life.
And isn't it about freedom? This is liberation. When I see around people having allergies and reactive responses, and it all comes from those moments of stress, those beliefs of anger, resentment, holding on to things, and then you work with it with PSYCH-K. And when you balance with all this, that's what we call it, the process, it's a PSYCH-K balance. And we transform the perception of those stresses. It is super liberating. It is freedom. And isn't it like when you were talking about Leo, it is a defense mechanism as how the reactive response comes as, because you don't want to process those emotions of anger?
Actually, it was my subconscious mind that every time I came in contact with another cat in my life, starting at that moment, my subconscious mind reconnected me with a traumatic event and triggered the biological response.
Yes, absolutely.
Without me even conscious.
Absolutely.
Before knowing, thanks to the PSYCH-K process and thanks to my superconscious mind, that helped me to understand, Duccio, that was the event.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
This is what happened also with your father and your mother.
Absolutely.
And also, even more important, it's when, because we talk so much about forgiveness, and forgiveness is very important to transform anger.
Yeah.
But with PSYCH-K, sometimes we can even transcend forgiveness, because when I was using PSYCH-K and doing the PSYCH-K process to forgive my mom and dad for giving Leo to grandma, during the process I realized really, there is nothing to forgive.
To forgive, yes.
Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing. I have to be grateful to them because they served Leo, because he was so much happier at grandma, because he had so much open land and country.
And they did their best.
And they did their best.
I think this is my aha moment. It is a beautiful moment to share with everybody that when we work with PSYCH-K, we actually can even transcend the frequency. Wow, I'm so overwhelmed now. So we can actually even transcend forgiveness, because a lot of times we are into this, I have anger and I have to forgive, and how difficult it is to forgive, and I need to do this forgiveness. And with PSYCH-K, with so much of ease and effectiveness, we can even transcend the forgiveness, and we can straight away do the balance and transform the perception of all that, what has made us have that reactive response. Yeah.
And Deepa, here ties, I think, to something very important that maybe helps people to understand why PSYCH-K is so unique. Because now there are so many different methodologies. Everybody now talk about changing beliefs.
Absolutely.
Okay? PSYCH-K is really beyond beliefs, because there is a big difference between believing and knowing. Okay?
True.
It's very different to say, I believe I love myself, or I know I love myself.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yes.
It's like saying, I believe there is a lamp here, or I know there is a lamp. So the knowing is believing without doubt.
Absolutely.
Okay? It's 100%.
Absolutely
the
bang on.
believing, yes, and there is room for doubt. With PSYCH-K, we go for the knowing.
Absolutely.
Okay? And that's why once we integrate something with PSYCH-K, that is a new program about loving ourselves, about taking care of our health because I love myself and not because I fear dying. For example, during the health and well-being workshop, I asked participants, do you think that worldwide health is fear-based or love-based?
We have the answer.
We have the answer.
We have the answer. Yeah, it's fear-based.
It's fear-based. And if you remember, Bruce Lipton says, there is love or there is fear. They cannot coexist.
Yes.
Okay? So if you take care of your health because you love yourself, wow, move on. You're on the right path. Move on, you're doing the right thing. But if you keep taking care of your health because you fear suffering and dying, and for some people, suffering is even more scary than dying.
Yes. Then isn't it you're living it even before it happening?
Yeah.
Anxiety, panic attacks, everything. You've not had yet that disease, but you're fearing it all the time, and you create your reality with your beliefs. Yeah. Isn't it? This is,
And it's so difficult to be able to transform and to be healthier with fear.
Yes.
Because love is the ultimate.
Opposite. Yeah.
Exactly. And the ultimate energy for transformation.
Absolutely.
So also for the ones who will be listening to this deep conversation, deep dive,
deep sharing with Duccio and Deepa.
Ask yourself and really honestly ask yourself, am I taking care of my health because I love myself or because I fear getting sick and suffering? Am I going to the gym because I love myself or because I fear something? Am I eating well because love or fear? Am I taking these supplements because of love or fear? I'm doing this plastic surgery because of love or fear. If the answer is fear, maybe there is an opportunity for you to keep doing these things because it's not wrong to do this. Absolutely. But do them with love.
Absolutely.
And you will see the exponential effects.
Absolutely.
And that's the power of not only believing, but knowing.
Absolutely. And I again want to take a moment here because this is another aha moment. And as you have beautifully explained, that Psyche is all about believing without a doubt. It is knowing who am I. Yeah. It is not only reprogramming and a continuation of changing the belief to achieve something. It is a remembrance. Yeah. And then this brings me to that moment for my great reverence and gratitude to Rob. Yes, Rob William, the originator of Psyche. Rob has always talked about Psyche as remembrance.
Oh, yes.
He has always said that it's not about that you need to learn a process or you need to learn a tool or technique. It is remembering your own divinity. It is remembering who you are. And as there are many ways of reprogramming today. Everybody is talking about everything, but what makes Psyche very effective and how we say that it is a spiritual process, having psychological, emotional and physical benefits. And this is where how spiritual it is in its essence, because we are not just doing the belief change. We are going back to our true self, that who we are. Yeah. It is a return home. It is remembrance. And another very beautiful thing you said that let's see that whatever we are doing, it is okay even to take care of yourself, or whether it is doing something to do with your body and beauty procedures or eating multivitamins and doing things. But whether we do it with a belief of fear or love, and it changes everything.
Everything changes.
And that is what Psyche is all about. I think the other name of Psyche could be unconditional love.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What are your thoughts about it? So
it's the energy.
Yes.
And like you said before, Psyche helps us to remember who we are. That in a way could be defined as I am a spiritual being having a human experience, and not just a limited human being living a human experience with rules decided by others, doing the things that society tells me to do. Instead, no, I have my own sovereignty. Okay?
Absolutely.
I have the right to decide. I have the right to say, I don't like this. I want to be able to say no. I want to be able to set my boundaries. I want to be able to decide what's best for me with love. So not with anger, not with being aggressive, but with loving authority. That's so unconditional love authority.
Yes.
And I think another very important thing in Psyche is really the why. Because sometimes people say, oh, I want to be healthy. Perfect. And they do a lot of things to be healthy. But sometimes I ask, okay, why do you want to be healthy?
Yeah.
I say, oh, to survive, to live. Okay, why do you want to survive? Oh, to be able to stay with my family, to stay more time with my family. Okay, so start there.
Yes, absolutely. So are we talking here about intention?
Yeah, intention and the real motivation behind the need. Exactly, the why. Ask yourself 2 or 3 times why.
Yes.
Why do I want to get this result?
Yes.
And once you have an answer, why do I want? Why do I want? Some people also ask this why 5 times to get really to the essence. And once you have the essence, you start working with the essence, and there's a ripple effect, everything else changes, okay?
Absolutely.
Also, to do that is so easy with PSYCH-K, because like you said, it's not about doing and creating something from scratch. It's about just remembering what we already know.
Absolutely.
Also because there is this kind of misconception. Because if you ask the majority of people this question, do you believe you have a soul? Many people will say, yes, I have a soul. And not a long time ago, I would have answered, yes, I have a soul. And I realized that, no, we do not have a soul. We are the soul.
Absolutely.
And once we realize, oh my God, I do not have a soul. It's not there, that's me. I am the soul.
I am the soul, yeah.
I am the subconscious mind. I am also the conscious mind. So I am everything.
I'm everything.
And the moment I remember that I am the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the superconscious mind, my soul, my spirit, we become kind of limitless.
Absolutely.
Okay? But with wisdom. Because limitless without wisdom is a disaster.
Absolutely.
Because that ego...
and that can make you a bit either egoistic or lunatic. Yeah, because there is a very thin line between knowing that we are limitless and we are that whole and complete, but that wisdom is very important to hold that space, and that's why we talk a lot in PSYCH-K that you hold the space.
Yeah. And why do we want to be limitless?
Exactly.
Oh, to conquer the world, to have more power? No.
Yeah,
with PSYCH-K, you will not have the go for that, because this will damage you and other people.
Absolutely.
But if you want to be limitless, to serve you and others, yes, you will have everything that you need to do that.
Absolutely. I absolutely resonate with it, and of course I have a background of therapy. I was an NLP coach, and we all have, what beautiful stories. And with due respect, with all that, what I have learned and integrated, PSYCH-K was homecoming for me, and it was a remembrance of all this, what we are talking while I was introduced to PSYCH-K. It was a divine moment for me, and it was a homecoming for me. It was that remembrance of who I am, and from there I started my journey of service. That's why even as an instructor, when we teach or when we facilitate sessions, it is not about I, me, myself. It is not about healing or fixing.
No.
It is all about serving, withholding that space where our partner, because we do not even call them clients or patients, they have all the wisdom to know all those changes what they want to make with themselves. And as how we say, we do not tell them this is what you should change. We facilitate what they want to change, and we hold the space for them. And that is what is real service, where you do not steal somebody's powers.
You amplify.
You amplify and you magnify, and that is one of the only reason I feel privileged and honored to be a PSYCH-K instructor, because it is all about, because I learned it with my journey with PSYCH-K, that it's not that you take the crown. It is, the real service is when you empower somebody and when they feel powerful in your beautiful presence, and it's a partnership work. And that is the real service.
It is. It is also because Rob Williams used frequently to say that with PSYCH-K, PSYCH-K is both a self-help and self-realization methodology.
Yes.
It's not a therapy. But what's the difference? Self-help, you use PSYCH-K with yourself for the things that you need to take care of. And this is so important, because if you have so many things in your life that are not going well, your relationship are not going well, your job is not going well, your health is not going well, how can you pretend to function well and also to serve others properly.
Absolutely.
It's nearly impossible.
Absolutely.
So, first, learn PSYCH-K to take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
Okay? Then, when you start to really feel better and you have done a beautiful job with yourself, PSYCH-K moves from being a self-help methodology to self-realization methodology. That has a double meaning.
Absolutely.
Because self-realization, again, is about remember who you are.
Absolutely.
Spiritual being having a human experience.
Yeah.
To solve the illusion of separation that says, I am separated from you, you are separated from me,
Absolutely.
I am separated from nature, I'm separated from spirit, I'm separated from everything. And remembering that we are all one. And when I remember and I know that I'm one with everything, my relationship with everything changes.
Yeah.
And so the movement from self-help to self-realization is natural. Because actually, you think, oh, I'm serving others outside of me, but actually there is no others.
Because there's no other.
Because
yes.
there is oneness. And so
Absolutely.
you move from service to self, very important, to service to others.
Absolutely.
That will even more amplify your well-being because others are a reflection of
Absolutely.
you.
And then of course, when we talk about it from the aspect of quantum physics, we know this is what we're talking about is quantum entanglement, the ancient wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely feel so grateful, to my masters and teachers, and inclusive of Rob, William, and because the true masters resonate with the same essence. So we have a revered master, and this is, by the way, I shared it with Rob when I had my first conversation with him. This is what we were talking, because while he was talking about that serving others is nothing but a reflection of your own self, and that's why PSYCH-K is self-help, that first you serve yourself and then you serve others, because it's a mirror image of who you are. So there is a revered master, some of us, we know about his name, Ramana Maharishi. So he's a very revered master, and even in the West, a lot of people, they know about him. He never preached anything, he never talked about anything, but he always resonated with the concept of what we call is quantum entanglement. So once a disciple came to him and he was, I have learned so much from you, and I understand about unconditional love, and I resonate with now giving all that love to others. So how do now I give all that love to others, which is really inside me, and it is there like an ocean? And the master just smiled and said, but who are others?
That's
exactly what we're talking about, because there are no others. And we always not talk about it, because I think that's the true essence. And it's not about talking, it is about resonating. And we know Rob always was there, and that's how he gifted and originated PSYCH-K, because the big purpose or intention is dispelling the illusion of separation. So, which is very simple, very easy to understand, but a conscious mind complicates it to such a big level. And we like to be consciously entertained. I call it conscious entertainment, that we just sometimes make it so complex. So how about having a deeper sharing on dispelling the illusion of separation, which is our true essence.
Just use PSYCH-K.
Yeah.
Basically, every single PSYCH-K, when we use PSYCH-K, we do processes to change subconscious limiting beliefs. These processes are called balances. Through these balances, we can for sure transform fears, blocks that do not allow ourselves to reach our goals, perception of ourselves that doesn't allow ourselves to reach our goals, and so many things. For example, another example of limiting belief is what's called secondary gain. That's very common in the health field, for example. And that seems crazy because the secondary gain is an advantage in maintaining a problem. Okay? And when we ask the question, what will you lose once you have completely solved the problem? Sometimes some unexpected answers appear. Like one time I was working with an entrepreneur, doing a session with an entrepreneur who wanted to be more successful. And I asked him, okay, what will you lose once you will be that successful? And he said, oh my God, my privacy and my time with my family. And this was a subconscious belief. If I am that successful, I will lose something that's even more important than my goal, privacy and time with my family.
Yes.
The beauty is that it's just a subconscious belief, subconscious limiting belief. So we just need to turn this belief that once also when I am that successful, I keep my privacy, and also when I'm that successful, I can spend all the time with my family. So going back to your question, every single PSYCH-K process or balance that we do is a piece of the solution of the illusion of separation.
Absolutely.
Because in PSYCH-K, actually people believe that wrongly think that PSYCH-K is a technique. And PSYCH-K is not a technique.
Absolutely.
And with techniques, we add things. PSYCH-K is a sacred methodology, and with PSYCH-K, we remove layers. We do not
peeling
add.
off.
Exactly. So we think, oh, I've added this quality to me. No, you just remember this quality because you have removed the layer.
Absolutely.
So actually, the more you use PSYCH-K with yourself and the more you facilitate PSYCH-K with others, the more the lighter you are and the less limiting beliefs that you have within yourself, and the more you are your essence. So PSYCH-K is a deep, deep, deep cleaning that takes you closer and closer to your essence, and therefore to your self-realization. And the more you are closer to your essence, not because you add, but because you remove layers, the more you solve the illusion of separation. So even when you do not even specifically address the illusion of separation, but for example, you transform the fact you are always angry with your wife or husband, or why my colleague gets all the promotion and I never get them. Why other people are rich and I'm always struggling with money. You can use PSYCH-K for all these things, but in reality, these are beautiful opportunity or excuses to remember who you are.
Absolutely.
And to solve the illusion of separation. But not to add. Oh, I add to myself, I am an expert, I am abundance. No, you just remember that you're abundance. You need to remove that limiting belief that didn't allow you to remember that you are abundance.
Yes, absolutely. So you know, as how we talk about the ancient wisdom, and in the ancient wisdom way, it's a process of purification. Purification. Yeah, it is an alchemy. It is the alchemy you do with yourself. And as you are lighter and lighter, and as you are returning closer and closer to your essence, the outcome is oneness and unconditional love. Natural. You do not add anything, or you do not become one, or you do not do any unconditional love to anybody. It is a process of just peeling off those layers, and those layers are all about limiting beliefs. Those layers about all those fearful perceptions. Those layers are all about the conditionings we have from environment, from society. And again, it's not about blaming. It's about we're all gone through that process. We get belief from culture, from religion, from our parents. But as you said, that they are also the part of the same setup. And this adds weight onto us and takes us away from home. Duccio, honestly, with PSYCH-K, it was so easy for me to understand and to be on the path of my spiritual evolution with so much of authenticity that I'm very open to talk about it, that I understood that it was not about understanding God. It was not understanding any higher power. It was this process of peeling off yourself, letting go of all limiting beliefs, perceptions, and conditions. And what remains is your true self.
And a reflection of God, or whatever.
And everybody else is a reflection of who you are.
Exactly.
And that's why you be the change you wish to see in others.
Yeah.
So even dispelling the illusion of separation, it is not an intellectual concept. It is not about understanding it and having those jargons and those words about it. It is all about the real work of peeling off yourself. And once all the cleaning is done, what remains is oneness.
Yeah, we are basically
Cleaners?
cleaning ladies and cleaning men. Doing a very, very easy and humble job.
But
Cleaning, but very sacred.
But I did
Very
say that,
sacred.
and it was like, and I was traveling, and I was with the immigration officer, and he looked at me and he said like, "Oh, but what do you do in Dubai?" And I said, "I'm a cleaner." So because I use this word to remind myself, and then of course I did tell him that
because like you said, also always Rob Williams loved to define Psyche as applied spirituality or practical mysticism. That doesn't mean just hope, stay in the sky, in your cloud, in your fantasy dream, because only there you're comfortable, but when you live your three-dimensional life, you are a mess. No, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. To be able to live heaven on earth, we have to be connected with our spirit, but also very grounded.
Yes.
And Psyche is very practical.
Yeah.
Because it's not about just, you need to stay in your dream world and there you will meditate for hours and hours and hours. But when you meet your colleague or your husband or your wife, you are angry exactly in the same way.
Absolutely.
No, you change your three-dimensional life. There is this beautiful combination of three-dimensional life, 3D, 5D that could be defined the realm of spirit, intuition, to merge in what's called the fourth dimension.
Absolutely.
That's
balance.
The balance of spirit and matter.
The balance of the spirit and the matter.
And they have to be honored exactly in the same way, because there are, I have met so many also spiritual people who are so, and I was there, so angry with the three-dimensional life.
Ask me. I was there too.
I was there.
I was there too.
I didn't like the 3D, and so I was always delusional in my dream.
Absolutely.
But when I needed to live my 3D life, I was a mess.
Absolutely.
And I was blaming and complaining, but it's all me.
Yeah.
Only when I understood that the sacredness of the 3D and the 3D-ness of the sacred.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's pure magic.
I absolutely resonate with it, and it is an honest sharing that what I call is the la spirituality, where you just do that bypass and we do not peel yourself off, and then you're talking about all those concepts, oneness, unconditional love, spirituality, but you're angry, you're resenting, you need validation, you are judging, you're expecting, and there is so much happens with you. So you're neither there nor there. So the 5D is an illusion and 3D is a big suffering, and that's where the balance comes. And again, an aha moment that the sacredness of being anchored in the 3D and having that connection in the 5D and bringing it to what we call is the 4D. And that is what is the intention.
So
and
beautiful.
How beautiful is that?
And I know this very well because I shared with you, I was so detached from the 3D world because I didn't like it. But I didn't like it because I had so many limiting beliefs about myself and the world around me, and I was so angry, so judgmental, with other people that it was nearly impossible for me to really live in this.
Yeah.
And so my way to survive was, okay, let's be spiritual. And if I think back to myself, I was so arrogant and so ignorant. And I needed that, I know. But if you think back to myself, I was, oh my God, no, please. It's so much better to be connected and deeply grounded, because this 3D is divine too.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. There's no separation.
No separation.
There is no matter and there is no energy. Everything is energy, frequency, vibration. And as we transform and change our limiting beliefs into enhancing beliefs, our energy, frequency, vibration starts to change. And
we need to take action.
Yeah, and we need to take action.
That's a part of, very important part of PSYCH-K, because you change who you are, you remember who you are, and then how do you want to act in your life now? How do you want to interact with people? How do you want to manage your health? How do you want to invest your money? How much time do you want to spend in nature? Or how much time do you want to spend in front of a screen?
So making choices, making clear choices.
Exactly.
But when it comes to action, there is still, that people want to talk and they don't want to do the work. But when it comes to taking accountability and responsibility, and that is again one very beautiful gift we got from PSYCH-K, the understanding of that while the subconscious mind creates the potential, we make that bridging to the conscious mind. By actions, we get to see that our potential, what we have created in the subconscious mind, is activated in our 3D life. So that is absolutely important, and taking accountability and responsibility is, I think, according to me, it's in my perception, taking accountability and responsibility is what for me is being spiritual. When you take the responsibility of who you are.
Applied spirituality.
Yeah, it is applied spirituality.
For a real example here, a few years ago, because of my very, very low self-worth, that I was blessed to be able to transform with PSYCH-K, I would have never be able to do this interview with you. Just being here to talk with a friend that I deeply love without any schedule, because you told me
we have not any preparation, we have no questions.
No agenda, let's start. You started with desert, okay, perfect. But before, I would have never, ever be able to do that. I would have needed to prepare myself. I would have been very stressed. This would have appeared on camera. No, this is the practical demonstration that PSYCH-K works.
Yes, absolutely.
Because if you would have seen me a few years ago on camera, oh my God, no, don't. No, probably I need to make some YouTube videos.
I totally understand that.
Terrible.
And these are the gifts what we have got. And PSYCH-K is not a tool, technique, or a process. It's PSYCH-K consciousness.
Yeah.
It is a consciousness of unconditional love and being who you are and reflecting it everywhere and anywhere. Since we were having a conversation about health, and I know when it is Duccio and Deepa, and we can be here for 3 days diving deep into the desert and applied spirituality and dispelling the illusion of separation. But I have a question here, and which is amazing for you to answer, because we were talking about that when we work with PSYCH-K, and especially in the area of health, it doesn't mean that we don't go for our surgeries, and it doesn't mean that we stop having medicines. So how does then PSYCH-K integrates everything? I know I did talk about that, of course, it helps you to speed up healing, and how that medicine is now making a connection with you. But then how would you explain that to me and to everybody?
That, in one word, that PSYCH-K is a complement to other beautiful therapies and approach that people like and love to experience. that, according to me, in my experience, is absolutely essential, because we tend to, when we have a health condition that usually is called illness, we tend to wanting to destroy and to fight the symptom, the illness, okay? Because I want to destroy this, I want to fight this, this is bad, that we are angry at it, we do everything to really erase the symptom. With PSYCH-K, for sure, we want to be free from the symptom, but not as an enemy. We start to see the symptom as a consciousness. And when we start to see as a consciousness, there are tools in PSYCH-K that allow us to speak with this consciousness and to tell, do you have anything to tell me?
But then people will call it, is
message?
It a magic or woo-woo?
No, it's very, very practical, because through what we in PSYCH-K call the superconscious mind, we get very specific and down-to-earth messages about the condition. For example, the hypertension I was talking at the beginning of this interview. You can start checking why it's here. There are two ways actually in PSYCH-K to know and to understand if this hypertension has messages for us. If it has a purpose. And maybe the purpose is, yes, I'm here to help you in managing this very stressful moment that you're living in your job, because there is there is a colleague of yours that stealing your position and job, and you need to fight to defend this position, because if you lose your job, you don't have money, you are not able to buy food and to sustain your family, and this is super stressful. Okay, so I need to be very reactive. I need to have a lot of oxygen in my blood, okay, to be reactive, to have muscles, to be ready to fight and to manage this stressful situation. And one of the physiological mechanisms could be hypertension, my heart, okay? So, yes, let's take care of the hypertension, because when it is out of control, talking about the symptom needs to be managed. And also ask ourselves, why do I need this condition in my life now? What's happening in my life that's requesting? And here you say that's nothing woohoo or magic. It's very down to earth.
It's very down to earth. Yes, absolutely.
And so we say, we ask, okay, how do I want to be in my job? How do I want to perceive myself? Because if I perceive that I'm weaker compared to the other person who is trying to steal my job, this person will steal my job.
Absolutely.
If I remember who I am, and I remember that I am the best for this job, I will have way more chances to maintain this job. But you need to deeply change at the subconscious level. And also, another thing about the symptom, that again, I'm not saying that taking care of the symptom is wrong. Absolutely not. But 100% focusing our attention on the symptom, you lose the big picture. You focus only on the tree and not on the forest.
Not on the forest,
And there is this beautiful analogy of, let's say that you go into your restroom, to your bathroom, and you see the floor flooded. Okay, you take the mop and you start drying the floor. The next day, and the floor is dry, is dry now. Next day, you enter again into your restroom and say, oh, again flooded. You take the mop and you dry it. And so for 1 month. Exhausted. Exhausted.
Because you're just mopping the floor.
Mopping the floor.
Again and again.
Symptom.
Yes.
A certain moment, you want to say, okay, I really would like to understand why my floor gets flooded. Then, instead of just looking down, you change perspective, you start to raise your head, and you see that the faucet is open. And you just need to go to the faucet, close the faucet.
It was so easy. It was so easy.
The thing is that for us, for people, is apparently difficult to change perspective, to see the solution, But in reality, it's very easy when you know
Yes.
how to do that.
Absolutely. So we are definitely talking about that, the health challenges may have messages
Oh, yes.
which you need to integrate in your deeper self. And as how we say, do not remove the messenger without taking the message.
Exactly.
Because you are just focusing on the symptoms and just taking your attention away why that health condition appeared in your life. And with Psyche, we can very beautifully, with ease and grace and effectiveness, we can just get into the deeper message and integrate it on a deeper level, and the outcome is the removal of the condition automatically, while we just took our focus to the message. Yeah, and that always fascinates me when I do sessions with health challenges, that there are such simple messages, and just by not integrating those messages on a deeper level, we are continuously suffering, and we are just continuously using that time to only take care of the symptoms. And when we do that, the outcome is the removal of that condition.
Exactly.
And that is super beautiful. So Duccio, I can just go hours together and have this conversation, and I call it a limitless, endless conversation. But I know that somewhere we need to pause, and it is just a pause. We are going to have more beautiful conversations with Duccio, and for now, I am being so grateful that you honored the desert, and the desert is as happy as
The desert honored us.
and the desert is as happy as I am. And thank you for being such a great true friend and a beautiful Psyche instructor, and holding this space for all the Psyche instructors. I truly feel honored that in this lifetime I connected with you, and that is why it's a deep, deep conversation with Duccio. And we will have such deep conversations in the coming times also. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepa.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.